Hello, I'm EnterElysium, and welcome to my review for Zafehouse Diaries. I will be calling it Zafehouse Diaries from now on because it's a zombie game and they felt that, they needed to put somehow a Z in the title to make sure it's a proper zombie game. That's just plain silly and, I don't really just... Saying Zafehouse Diaries all the time is just going to piss me off, so Zafehouse Diaries from now on. Anyway, what is it? It's basically a strategy zombie game where you manage a group of survivors. You've got to be careful of your equipment and stuff, you've got to salvage more equipment, and you've got to manage the relationship between your characters. Now, this has been around, it's been greenlit last year, it's been got a little bit of press and so on from its beta and so on. And it's just come out now, officially, on Steam as a gamma release, so an actual full done, completed. It's also available on GOG, on Zura, and on their website. On Steam it will cost you £7, $10, €9, which means the Americans get the better deal, and if the EU and the people in Britain want to get a better deal, they can buy it from GOG or from their own website, at which point they'll be buying it for the $10 equivalent. I don't know what the price is on Zero. So I would recommend you do that. Also on GOG, and I think on their website, there is no DRM at all. So there you go. Anyway, let's dive straight in. You might wonder why there are black bars down the side of this video. That would be because this game only comes in the 1 resolution and the 1 aspect ratio for free. I have no idea why. This game has been developed for a long time, so it may explain why it's using a resolution and aspect ratio that was more popular about 7 years ago, which is, about ages in PC gaming time. Anyway, let's quick look at the options. Not even the sliders for the audio, you can turn them off, that's about it. You can enable windowed mode. If you disable windowed mode, all that happens is the rest of your screen is filled up with black. Enable display scaling just does exactly the same thing as taking off windowed mode in my experience. It is experimental apparently, but all it does is make the rest of your window taken up with black, which is kind of annoying because at high resolution screens like mine, I'm craning forwards and leaning in and trying to read this text, and it's really, really difficult. Other than that, just a couple of things, blah blah blah. Enable faster loading or something. It's a very shitty options menu, let's be honest. Anyway, this is one of the best things about the game, the custom content manager. It's me, EnterElysium. Basically, you can add your own survivors and stuff to the game. You can add to every game, add randomly, or you can disable it. So if you go edit, you can see I am male, Ancestry 4, that means European. I don't know why, it doesn't say European, African, Asian, etc. It's just replaced everything with Ancestry 1, Ancestry 2, that feels like a very beta alpha-y thing to me, probably more an alpha thing than beta thing, and I have no idea why they haven't replaced it. You have to go look it up in the manual to see which Ancestry means what, which is kind of annoying. You'd think that needs to be fixed. Job, etc. Age, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So, just accept. You can also upload a photo. It says in the manual that you should be able to scale the photo. I haven't found a way to scale it, which is why my head takes up more of the box than it should do. That seems strange, but anyway. It's nice that you can add your own survivors, that's pretty cool. Otherwise, you wouldn't really care about them that much. You can add a location photo, which will appear randomly. You can have custom occupations, so I'm a YouTuber. And you can allocate points to do with how much better at certain tasks you'll be, how smart, resilient, perceptive, and how strong you'll be. Now, this kind of bugs me that you're completely a product of your job. So, I, being a YouTuber really spends most of your time in front of a computer. You don't really do much exercise involved in the job. So, all YouTubers will be weak as buggery. You will actually do nothing physical in this game at all. Which is a shame, but, it's a nice way of simplifying it, and the jobs determine your stats, I guess. And who you are determines your relationship with people, is generally how it works. So you can add your own things. You can actually make them much better than, it says 6 is a balanced number there, and it says here that 50 is a balanced number here. You can make them better. Admittedly, there's a soldier I've edited just to add in. Probably in a zombie apocalypse, a soldier should be better than average for most things. So, you can edit that if you want, which is nice. You can make your own custom impressions and chuck them in. So, there we go. That's a really cool thing. I do like that. Let's save and exit. And let's start a new game. Now there are 3 different difficulty modes. I've only played around the normal one so far. Basically, no survivors, which is easy, which means there's no time limit. You can recruit new survivors when other ones get killed. And basically, there's no objective other than keep playing. The only reason I haven't played it is because no objective, just keep going, and eventually die out, but you keep getting new survivors. It doesn't seem as interesting to me. There's Deadline, which is a hard one, which you've got to survive for 5 to 7 days. You've got to find the clues about where the helicopter's going to pick you up at that end of that time, and apparently you get more dilemmas and stuff. And then on Normal, which is one I've been playing, you've got to repair a vehicle, you've got to find all the parts of the vehicle, then you've got to go find the vehicle, or vice versa, and then repair it, and then leave. You can't get any more survivors, etc., and you get some aggressive dilemmas. So, let's just start the game. Now, these little dilemmas are things that appear and things that ask you to make decisions. Sort of like quick time events, but in a strategy game, in that there aren't really quick time events. You can just sit there and click yes, no, or maybe, or whatever the choices are. Anyway, so here's a procedural world, and here's a procedural team, except for the fact that I'm in it all the time, because I've set that to be the case. We have a YouTuber, a carpenter, a mechanic, a librarian, and a police officer. It's not bad. Mechanics, useful for modifying things. Carpenter's good at barricading places. I'm, awesome. Police officer. And librarian is not much use. But anyway, we've arrived with a weapon, some tools, some food, and no medical supplies. That's not a great start. Sometimes you can start more than one weapon, and sometimes you can start medical supplies. At the moment, we have bugger all, really. Anne isn't adjusting well to the group, but Carrie might be able to hold everyone together. We met some on the outskirts of town. They basically said, oh, all my friends died. There's a car here you might want to patch up. Bye, I'm leaving. I don't know why they didn't stay. Apparently they just didn't like the look of us, but still wanted to tell us that there's a car around that we can use rather than using it for themselves or even joining our group and helping us. But anyway, this is the procedurally generated world. So we start in this house, which is 57% searched. This is our team with little counters. So you're moving around on the map. Apparently we know there's something here. It's even going to be a part or a vehicle. This is a hospital. Oh, that's not a really good start because special places like hospitals tend to have a lot of zombies in them, which means to get the stuff that's here, we need to fight a load of zombies. So we'll probably have to do that last of all. You get fun things on the map like houses. Generally not much in them, but lightly defended with only like a couple of zombies maybe. Stores. Better choices. Maybe more zombies than houses in my experience, but not really that many. Then you get things like hotels. These allow you to actually rest up, and you can actually order people to rest up rather than just doing it whenever they want to. Bank. They're just really easy to defend. Store. Factory. Factories allow you to modify things better. So you can modify like your guns to be double-barreled or have a bladed handgun. The best one I've had was someone made something, what was it, like a terrifying butter knife. Oh my god, it's a butter knife, I'm so scared! It made it awesome in close combat. I just not sure that really makes sense, but, cool. There's a police station here, which will have like a crap load of weapons in it. I've never actually got into a police station because they always have about 30 zombies inside, and I don't fancy taking on 30 zombies. Your guys tend to get killed by about 5, so never seems the best of ideas. There's a church, there's a school, maybe you'd want to go to the school, I don't know. Warehouses, they don't tend to be very defensible, but they've normally got like a load of stuff in them. And a bar. There's one other one which turns up, which is like a restaurant, which isn't here, which is good for like getting a load of food. I once actually went to a restaurant and then had a feast, and everyone was really happy with each other, which is great. And there's a university. So let's have a look at our group. And this group is going to fall apart really quick. This game is a lot about managing relationships between your guys, because provided you're incredibly careful, if you play it really carefully, you're probably not going to die a lot to zombies, or much at all. What will happen, though, is despite your best efforts, people will start basically brutally maiming each other. I've never had anyone kill another person in the group. What I have had happen, or at least not intentionally, what I have had happen is people throw bits of furniture and break up people's legs, give them concussions, injure them a lot, which has then resulted in them dying to zombies. And there seems to be no way to really solve that problem at all. There are a couple of ways to make people happy with each other. You can spread rumours, but you can only do that once a day. You can have feasts, which requires like 35 cooking ingredients and makes everyone like basically maxed relationship for a little while. But it's a temporary measure, and you're very unlikely to be able to really get that many cooking ingredients together. I've only done it once, and I've been playing this quite a lot. So yeah, let's look at this. Me and Scott like each other a fair amount. It's not like a proper green bar, but it'll do. Megan and Carrie, they sort of like each other. Me and Anne don't like each other, really. I don't like Megan. I don't like Carrie. Scott doesn't like Megan. They don't like each other. She doesn't like her. She doesn't like her. Basically, no one likes each other in this group, apart from that pair, and yeah, no one likes Anne. Apparently, I'm uncomfortable around women. I didn't write that. That's just a procedurally generated bio type bit. This bit up here and stuff, and this bit here, they come from your job and from your actual data you enter. But then there's be a little bit here, which is like procedurally generated. So apparently, I'm uncomfortable around women. So is Scott. Well, this is great. The 2 guys are both uncomfortable around women, and the other 3 women probably hate men or something. Oh, here we go. She claims she isn't a racist. She just doesn't like the look of Anne. And Carrie has a lingering prejudice towards the poor. And Anne is uncomfortable around men. Yeah, this is possibly one of the worst groups of survivors I've had in the game. Yeah. This group isn't going to survive long. Anyway. So, there you can manage your group and so on. So, let's try spreading a rumour around me that I'm really charitable and that I offer my service free of charge to uneducated poor people. Let me see, how many poor people are there? Middle class, poor, middle class, middle class. Oh, screw that. We're doing it to middle class. And what are you educated? Uneducated, university, uneducated, high school. Let's go back and to uneducated middle class. Let's change that to... Actually, there are 2 uneducated middle class, weren't there? Middle class, uneducated, middle class university, middle class high school. Oh. Well, let's just try and cover 2 bases there. That's probably not going to be the best of rumours. And let's try and make it fairly effective by putting it local television. If you put it like local paper, if you put interviewed on television, then that makes it really effective with the people who like you, but it also makes like several people who maybe feel bad about it or just don't like you for it, or maybe even don't care. That makes them have like an adverse reaction. So let's put the medium one. And then let's see what we've got here. Let's look at supplies. We've got 6 9mm rounds and a handgun, some bits of scrap, a butter knife, a carving knife, a chest set, a crowbar, a frying pan, a hammer, a saucepan and a stereo, 4 cooking ingredients and 3 stacks. So, what are we going to do? Well, first of all, we're going to search the location for anything useful. I'm 4 stars at that, so I'll assign me. And probably want to go for a weapon, first of all, just so we can actually start looking at our places. We don't have any like flashlights or anything, so when we go and have a look at other places and investigate them, our results aren't going to be great, which is a shame because we could really do with actually, you know, finding out what's there. People come back and be like, oh, there's no zombies there. And because they don't have a flashlight or anything, they're probably wrong, and there could well be like 7 zombies there. So let's turn these over, right-clicking on them, and we've got a police officer from Scott. So let's put Scott over here to investigate the bank, actually. Hopefully there's no one inside, or very few, because then we can actually use that as like a fortress. We can go and we can barricade it up. And Anna's a carpenter, so if we barricade with Anna, and then do quickly and loudly, and then team up with Megan. Anna, Megan. Megan doesn't really like Anna that much. Oh, crap. Sometimes that happens, I have no idea why. Let's take Megan off that before bad things happen. Okay, and Megan and Carrie. So, Megan, I want you to go have a look here. Carrie, I want you to have a look here. Just investigate. You can like change it to breach, in which case they'll go inside and then kill any zombies inside. And you can do assault, which kills the zombies outside and then they'll shoot in through the windows or whatever, but they won't actually go inside. So, we're just investigating for now. We don't have anything to investigate with, like binoculars or flashlights, so they're going to have to leave it like that. And then, closing that, we can go next hour. Rumours spread about the group. For his work as a YouTuber, he was featured on in a local paper for offering his services free of charge to uneducated middle-class people. Upon hearing the rumour, Anne, Megan, Carrie, and Scott became closer to EnterElysium. Yes! Megan returned from a recon at the House of Benchmark Palace. Carrie returned. EnterElysium found a pair of binoculars. Yay! Okay. Apparently this is a thing. I found cooking ingredients, snacks, sponge. Anna broke a bed into 2 barricades. She secured a door leading to the living room. There's only 1 shower. Half the room has been searched. Scott is feeling slightly fit after doing some exercise. Okay, she didn't spot any zombies inside at Free Benchmark Palace. That's nice. Free Quiet Court has a vehicle. It's a pickup truck, and we need 5 different items to fix it. She didn't see anyone inside. Of course, that could be a lie. The bank has at least 5 inside, then. That's a shame. No one spotted any weapons or whatever, otherwise we'd make a beeline for the places that have got weapons and stuff. And we probably could do a couple of medical supplies. We don't need them right now. No one's injured. They will get injured as they start beating each other up. But, yeah. So, what do you do in the next bit? Well, we've now got binoculars, so we can probably do a better investigation. So, police officer? Which one was it? Let's go back to our thing. It was Free Quiet Court, which is 2 doors and 8 windows. It's not greatly defensible. 2 doors, 6 windows, that's much more defensible. But this one's got the car, so if we go out and we set up near the car. So... Free Quiet Court. There we go. And if we then... It's a bit of an odd UI, but you've got to realise that people going to do jobs from other places have to be ordered from that place. Investigate, and then we give him the pair of binoculars and the carving knife to defend himself. You can see that the crowbar and hammer are grayed out because that's held by Anne, and that's held by EnterElysium. And they're using them for their current tasks, it says there. So, you investigate that. Carrie is idle, Megan is maintaining barricades. We don't really need her maintaining barricades at the moment, she's fine. Like, the barricades haven't been damaged. So, we could go make traps. You can make regular traps and you can make experimental traps. And this is partly where I think the balance is actually a bit off. Every time I've made experimental traps, they've misfired and injured like 3 out of 5 people. Every time. I think perhaps the balance might be off, because at the moment there is no reason to make experimental traps, because they damage you a lot more than the zombies that the traps would. So, that's one of the things in the game I think the balance is off. Also, I've never completed the mission. And I've spent plenty of time in this game, so why I'm in an abusive relationship with it is that I keep coming back, and it keeps beating me up and going, nah, you're not doing that. I really want to like the game. I really do like the game, but I feel that I'm going to get incredibly frustrated as I continue playing it, because I think the balance is incredibly off. Part of the reason is you've got like a sound level at your house, so if we put someone on watch for zombies, they'll probably report every now and again, oh, the sound level's pretty low, or, oh, the sound level's really high. And sometimes the sound level ends up being really high and you have no reason why. It's not like you're making loud barricades. We're making them quickly and loud at the moment, mainly because there aren't many zombies around the first day. But even if you do them quietly and slowly, or even if you stop building them all together, the noise level is still apparently really loud, and you get hordes of zombies, which is strange. But anyway, as the day goes on, the place will fill up with little zombies, and you're still trying to get other places. I feel I've explained enough at the moment about how the game works. It's a really fun game, and if this sort of managing your supplies and stuff appeals to you, and modifying items, so if we actually take, god damn it, if we take Anna off barricading, and we put Carrie on it, actually no, not Carrie, she's awful, put Megan on it, and then we put Anne on modifying items, sorry, not weapons, and then we just focus on close combat for the moment. And then watch for zombies, put Carrie on that. Scott is moving, that's fine. Go next hour. He saw 3 zombies inside. See, now we send him over, and he's a better person for investigating someone because he's a police officer, and he's got binoculars. He's reported there's at least 3 zombies inside, whereas the last who went over beforehand, she spotted none. So... And he's modifying a handgun. I found cooking ingredient and 2 snacks. I found a can of gasoline. That's great for making a distraction. You can make like a big bonfire and draw zombies from all over town. You'd probably want to do that not actually where you are hiding, but like the other end of town, so all the zombies run away. A deck of playing cards. People play solitaire by themselves just to make themselves feel like a bit more fresh and smarter or something. 3 snacks. Someone broke a refrigerator into that, and all rooms have now been searched. So yeah, we've now searched 100% of that. So we're actually going to have to break in somewhere. And normally I'd build up a few more provisions and stuff beforehand, but just to show you how it works, we'll do an assault. So we want the police officer and the YouTuber, because, you know, from playing all those FPS games and so on, I actually got a slight idea about how to attack a location. The police officer, of course, is probably a better bet. I wish it gave you feedback on which one is best for this. Like, you can't add people. Apparently you can add people that way. That's really cool. Anyway, so then we'll send over Megan as well. Right, so Megan, 5 stars, and a 3-star. Anne's left, so Carrie's watching for zombies. And we'll leave Anne modifying weapons. And instead of investigating, we'll go breach. Take all the rounds of the handgun and the switchblade. It's unfortunate, I don't really want to take the loud gun and the ammo, but we don't really have many weapons at the moment, so we might have to settle for using a loud weapon. The problem is, loud weapons will draw some zombies. But it's probably best to go over that anyway, since we don't have many weapons. I mean, we're probably going to pack... There we go, a hammer and a butter knife. I'll take the word butter knife. Hammer, handgun, switchblade, and we need maybe another close combat weapon. So let's take a carving knife. You could take the frying pan or the saucepan, but we'll just take maybe a couple of snacks as well. And then we go and breach. So... we approached the house with the intention of breaking in. We'd spend some time trying to find a way in, increasing the risk of confrontation. We headed to the small second-story window leading to the study. It took no time at all as it tried to get inside using the hammer. The group brought along. We cleared the room, taking down one zombie. It sounds like there are only a handful of zombies wandering around in here. It doesn't look like there are any other zombies inside the house. Great, so there aren't any outside the house. So there's going to be no, reinforcements, but there are a handful inside the house. Which means in the next hour, when we actually clean out the house, it'll be interesting. Apparently, Anne's modifying a hammer. And there's nothing to do, so... No blood. Cool, we didn't get injured. The few zombies, EnterElysium smashed the zombie's head with a pistol butt, but after striking its left arm, right leg, and right foot, Scott smashed the zombie's head with a furious hammer after clubbing it in the torso. They got them all. Cool, so there are only other 2. So actually, when he said there were 3, he was right. That's pretty cool. Normally things don't go that well. Normally we'd be absolutely massacred by now. Now, we want to basically make this our prime location, because it's got the van, so we'll have to come back here to fix it anyway. So we want to make everything here nice and secure, but also quiet. We don't want to draw the zombies here. So we'll be building up barricades slowly and quietly. However, people will start to argue and fight, and so on. And this will happen really quick. Basically, imagine like The Walking Dead, then take all the negative character, development, and all, the bad interactions, and when they fight or whatever... or they have differences of opinion. Take all of that, this game has it. Take any of the good stuff, where people actually get along, or make friends, or look after each other. And there's not really any of that in this game. You never have anyone actually get along. You never get them come to like each other. Within a space of 3 days, an entire group that's actually getting on really well at the very beginning will break down and start basically chucking items and breaking each other's legs. I've had an entire group with broken legs because they started chucking items before now. It doesn't appear that anyone can get along in a zombie apocalypse, which seems contrary to all the research that I've seen that suggests that people in high-stress situations actually tend to work together pretty well. Which is kind of annoying, because you'd want the character development to go both ways, not just all negative. There are a couple of ways of improving. Like I said, there are feasts and rumours, but you only get a certain amount of rumours per day, 1, and you can only use a certain number of rumours, you run out of them. And feasts require a ridiculous amount of cooking ingredients, which doesn't really make them completely feasible. So yeah, that seems off on balance to me. You tend to die a lot if you don't, hole up in one place. If you hole up in one place, then people basically break each other's legs. Yeah, so a lot of this, the balance seems to be fairly iffy. And, of course, the strange aspect ratio and the graphics. But it is a fun game, and the mechanics of it I do really like. I like the fact that you have to manage your inventory and try and get new stuff, and then have to go, well, I'm running out of medical supplies, and someone's got a bad leg or whatever. Do I actually try and get to the local hospital and try an iffy but all-out attack to try and save this one person, or do I just let them basically be a drain or whatever? Do we try and risk breaking into the restaurant to get the food, or do we just maybe raid a home? That's really cool, and I really like the aspects of this game. It's really freaking awesome. I'm surprised it hasn't been done before now. But a lot of the balance seems off. But I really like it, and I really want to like it. So I keep coming back, and it keeps beating me up and leaving me by the roadside with a black eye. Now, I would say, if you at all think you'd like this game, get it, maybe? But if you're a bit iffy or whatever, that's up to you. Personally, I still really think that I spent good money on this game. I've got a lot of playability out of it, even if it does frustrate me sometimes. And ultimately, I think it was a worthwhile purchase for me. Again, it comes down to the individual person's opinion. Do you actually like this sort of micromanagement of your supplies, choosing what to keep? This isn't like a supply list or whatever for the entire group. This is a supply list for your location, so you're actually going to have to start ferrying items between locations, depending which location you want to keep all your supplies in. Do you spread them out? That sort of stuff. And you can end up with quite a lot of items once you start searching. Like, there, we've got that. Here, we've got these. Do you really want to have to manage like your sponge and your mop and so on, which are really important for cleaning up zombies, because you do need to clear up the corpses in this game, otherwise all your food goes off. If you think you'd actually like this, I would recommend it. Ultimately, yeah, straight out recommend. I do actually like this game. I do think that it needs to be clearer about what makes noise and stuff, because sometimes I find locations just making loads of noise and it's going to be a beacon for zombies all over town, and I'm there going, but no one's actually doing anything. What is the actual noise coming from? Did someone leave the radio on? I don't know. And a lot of it says, oh, the tutorial, yeah, just the manual's on the website. It should do a better job of explaining itself, ultimately, I feel. But it doesn't. And that is one of its downsides. The other downside, of course, being that I have to crane to look at the writing because it's so really freaking tiny. But, you know, that's more of an ingrained thing than the UI standpoint. Anyway, I think I've talked enough about this game. I do really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. You can chuck your friends in and get them eaten by zombies, or even just beating each other up after 12 hours because they went and started doing watch together and then they argued and they did backhanded comments or whatever. I enjoy it. It's good fun, even if the balance seems to be completely skew. If maybe I'm just doing it wrong. But if I'm doing it wrong, I'm doing it wrong because the game hasn't explained it any better, in which case it's the game's fault for not explaining it any better. So I've been EnterElysium. This has been Zafehouse Diaries. Zafehouse Diaries. Zombie strategy game thing. I hope you enjoyed this review. Yeah, cool. Stay shiny, everybody.